They say space is the final frontier. Apparently for NASA, it's also the final demolition site.
And who needs a launch pad when you've got orbital explosives? Genius.
Welcome to the Daily Roast Radio, your evening dose of news and existential dread.
Calendar says Thursday, 26 March 2026. The clock says 2200. And yes, we are very much on the air.
And very much wondering if we are the ones who need an orbital explosive to propel us out of this timeline.
A very tempting thought, Joe. But first, a quick check on the world outside our hermetically sealed studio.
Weather desk reports overcast, 3C, feels like 0C, wind 7 kilometers per hour. So if your plans involved optimism, maybe reschedule.
Or just embrace the cold, dark void. It's really the theme of the day, isn't it?
I'm Joe, she's Jane, and it's the evening edition, bringing you all the stories that made us question reality today.
Just another Thursday where the headlines are indistinguishable from a fever dream.
A fever dream featuring rocket scientists with sticks of dynamite and politicians who confuse blockchain with building blocks.
And we're here to sort through the wreckage, one cynical observation at a time. Consider us your reality check adjacent guides.
First up, from the hallowed halls of Westminster. UK government halts crypto donations after urgent audit revealed most ministers mistook blockchain for a very expensive Lego set.
You're telling me the people running a G7 economy thought digital ledger technology was just fancy plastic bricks? I mean, it explains a lot. Their economic policy suddenly makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Reports suggest one minister attempted to build a small, functional parliament out of Bitcoin, claiming it was future-proofing democracy.
And they probably only stopped when they realized it didn't come with an instruction manual or a tiny plastic speaker's chair.
Critics called it utterly predictable, especially after an MP was reportedly overheard asking if mining involved little digital pickaxes. What happened is the UK government banned crypto donations due to widespread digital illiteracy among its elite. It seems the urgent audit was mostly just someone trying to explain what a URL is.
Why ratters? Well, our leaders are making policy on things they think are a new kind of Rube Goldberg machine, or perhaps just very shiny, expensive paperweights. Dr. Evelyn Digital, head of the Are You Sure That's Not a Toaster Institute, stated, "At least Lego comes with instructions, and you can usually tell which end is up."
Indeed, which is more than we can say for some of their fiscal policies.
Next, in a ruling that will reshape civilization, landmark ruling, childhood screen-adjacent existence deemed compensable trauma, every human under 30 now eligible.
I knew it. All those years of watching my dad try to fix the VCR, the sheer existential dread of the tracking button, I deserve compensation.
So just existing within viewing distance of a screen before adulthood now qualifies you for reparations? I'm rich, Joe. I watched my parents play solitaire. I even saw the dreaded blue screen of death a few times. That's gotta be worth millions.
A federal court declared it digital proximity trauma, opening floodgates for billions. The definition is so broad it includes anyone who ever saw a billboard with a digital clock. Experts predict a radical reshuffling of national wealth, possibly into NFTs, because of course it is.
Why it matters? Billions in tech-funded reparations means a whole generation can now afford therapy for the trauma of, well, existing. Professor Pixel McScroll from the University of Digital Discomfort said, "Finally, my chronic eye strain from reading TikTok comments is validated. I might even be able to afford some new glasses to continue the suffering."
The implications are astounding. Will we see screen-adjacent support groups or digital detox resorts that are actually just very expensive empty rooms?
Probably both, and a whole new industry of lawyers specializing in, "My uncle once showed me a screenshot of his high score on Minesweeper."
Moving to business news, where gravity is apparently optional. Investors now buying literal space dust futures as rocket stocks achieve escape velocity from reality.
Space dust futures? Is this what they mean by blue chip stocks? Because it sounds a lot like fairy dust and an even faster way to lose your shirt.
It's truly astounding. Following unconfirmed SpaceX reports about the potential for extraterrestrial minerals, the market has gone full warp drive. Investors are pouring billions into everything from asteroid mining rates to the ethereal concept of upwards momentum and even the potential for space dust.
So they're literally investing in thin air, or rather, very thin vacuum? I thought cryptocurrency was abstract, but this takes the cosmic cake.
Indeed. Apparently, the next big thing is orbital real estate, which consists mostly of theoretical plots of empty space. And don't forget the lunar soil ETFs.
Why it matters? It's pure market irrationality, a speculative bubble so vast it could swallow a black hole. Wall Street analyst Brenda the rocket scientist Sterling noted, "We've moved beyond buy the dip to buy the void. And honestly, the void looks pretty volatile right now."
I wonder if they'll accept crypto for those space dust futures. That'd be a truly circular economy.
And now for some truly explosive science. NASA to Nuke gateway to Mars promises unprecedented kinetic transfer event.
NASA is going to nuke a space station to move it? Is this a space program or a Wile E. Coyote cartoon with a much bigger budget and even more catastrophic potential?
They're detonating a nuclear device near the Lunar Gateway Station to propel it towards Mars. Officials assure the public this is highly controlled and mostly safe. I'm not sure those two phrases belong in the same sentence, especially when the word nuke is also involved.
It sounds less like precision engineering and more like someone just discovered dynamite in the celestial junk drawer. What about the space debris? Or the potential for an accidental Mars orbital insertion into, say, Jupiter?
Details, Joe. The official statement also mentioned minimal cosmic collateral impact, which I think is a fancy way of saying we hope nothing important blows up.
Well, mostly safe isn't exactly a ringing endorsement when nukes are involved, particularly in space. Dr. Oppenheimer Jr., lead physicist on the What Could Go Wrong project, simply said, "Hold my beer, and maybe a lead blanket, and possibly a spare planet."
Good to know our future Martian colonists will be arriving via nuclear propulsion. What could possibly go wrong?
Next, the BBC gets a digital makeover. BBC announces viewer optimization initiative as ex-Google boss vows to reduce license fee payer friction points by 87%.
Ah, friction points. Is that what they're calling the bit where you have to actually watch something now? Or perhaps the disappointment of another season of Mrs. Brown's Boys?
I suspect it's anything that requires a human brain to engage for more than 30 seconds. New Director General, former Google exec Matt Britton, promises a data-driven renaissance where algorithms replace human creativity and suboptimal emotional investment will be a thing of the past.
So instead of a gripping drama, we'll get a statistically perfect sequence of events designed to maximize viewer retention and emotional neutrality? I can't wait for the new emotionally optimized soap opera.
Exactly. Every plot twist will be calculated, every character arc pre-approved by a focus group of AI bots. The aim is apparently to make every viewing experience so smooth and frictionless, you won't even realize you're watching it.
Why it matters? Because soon every drama will be exactly 37 minutes long and end with an algorithmically generated cliffhanger, followed by a personalized ad for something you didn't even know you needed. Cultural critic Dr. Content Streamington says, "Welcome to the age of peak bland, where art goes to die a clean, data-optimized death."
And all funded by your license fee, ensuring maximum efficiency in the delivery of mediocrity.
At least it won't cause any digital proximity trauma, just digital apathy.
From the world of sports, a baffling criminal case. Quadruple amputee Cornhole pro arrested for murder. Case baffles forensics, inspires new adoptive lethality protocols.
Okay, the bagman Henderson, quadruple amputee? What are the adaptive lethality protocols for that? Are we talking highly specialized prosthetic aiming devices?
That's precisely what law enforcement was asking, Jane. He was arrested for a shooting death, leaving authorities grappling with unprecedented logistical and existential questions. Forensics are genuinely stumped, reporting finding no fingerprints, no conventional weapon, just an incredibly precise trajectory.
I'm picturing a scene straight out of a bizarre spy movie, where he uses his advanced cornhole skills to perfectly ricochet a projectile off 3 walls and into the target.
The police chief reportedly stated, "We've reviewed the security footage. It defies physics. He just looked at them, and then something happened." The medical examiner is still trying to determine the exact cause of death, beyond extreme precision.
Why it matters? This redefines what's physically possible and forces us to rethink the very nature of crime and perhaps competitive lawn games. Detective Inspector Phil the Puzzler Thorne simply remarked, "We found a perfectly aimed cornhole bag near the victim. The plot thickens, literally, and we're pretty sure it wasn't a warning shot."
So, a new era of criminal masterminds who can weaponize backyard games. Truly terrifying.
I'm never looking at a beanbag toss the same way again.
Finally, from the UN. UN votes 193-0 to formally acknowledge slavery probably suboptimal. Reparations Task Force recommends apology-adjacent gift baskets.
Probably suboptimal? That's like calling a meteor strike a minor inconvenience for property values, or a nuclear space station launch a bit loud. It's an understatement of cosmic proportions.
Absolutely. It took them 400 years to get to probably suboptimal. the UN officially declared the transatlantic chattel slave trade the gravest crime against humanity, a revelation hailed as courageous by delegates who presumably just woke up from a 400-year nap and had their morning coffee.
And the groundbreaking solution? Apology-adjacent gift baskets. What's in them? A strongly worded letter and a discount coupon for a future UN-sponsored webinar on human rights?
Early reports suggest they might include artisanal apology candles, fair trade tea, and a pamphlet on understanding historical oversight. It's truly a gesture of, well, a gesture.
Why it matters? The recommendation of apology-adjacent gift baskets feels less than adequate, to put it mildly. Historian Dr. Kronos Stilete said, at least it's not NFTs this time, I guess, though I wouldn't put it past them to throw in a digital reparation token or two.
So the global community's approach to historic injustice is essentially a polite, oops, our bad, with a lukewarm beverage.
It certainly makes you wonder about the speed of international diplomacy. Maybe they need a nuclear propulsion system for their policymaking, too.